Hey guys, we are working on practice sheet 14 and we're going to do this composite shape first. So what we can tell is that we have two shapes, right? We have a triangle and we have a circle, okay? So, and it's a missing piece. If you have a missing piece, you're going to make sure that your last step is to subtract, okay? Hopefully you know that. Now, I do not want to do this whole thing for you because you've got to start being able to do this alone, okay? So hopefully you know, make sure you draw this small. You have a triangle. Didn't draw that very well. A little better. My computer's going really slow today. More like that, okay? But what I do know is we know this is 11 and this is 9, okay? And then I have a circle over here and we know that is 4, okay? Please make sure that you label that diameter, okay? And I don't want anybody to put a formula that starts with a C. That is circumference, okay? So for our triangle, our goal is to be getting better and better at this by now. We've done this a lot. Most practice sheets, we've been doing them. Triangle is A equals half BH. Circle is A equals pi r squared. Okay. So my suggestion for you guys as we're just moving forward, some of you are getting better and better, some of us are still struggling, is put parentheses. 1, 2, 3. That way you know how many numbers you have. First thing I see is half. Then I see the base. That's here. Then I see the height. That is 11. So normally we like to take actually a half of something, like half of 9 or half of 11. Since these are odd numbers, what I would do is I would multiply those and divide by 2, and you will get a decimal, okay? Half means you divide by 2, okay? On this one, I'm going to let you plug in, but 1, 2. I don't count this little 2. I'm going to keep it up here, but it doesn't need to have its own set of parentheses, right? Only if there was a 2 in front, like with circumference. So pi will go here, radius will go here. Remember that pi is only for things that have a circle, okay? Okay, number 2. Here's what I would do. Hopefully we know that makes a plus. We can do arrows, or we can just look at our signs here. Different, subtract. Please make sure you know where that decimal goes on the 37. Okay. Number 3, Ziva drove 236 miles in 4 hours. If she drove at a constant speed, write this as a unit rate or miles per hour. I guess I don't need those parentheses there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and put the units here. For speed, we do miles per hour or mph, miles per hour. Miles per hour. This says miles in 4 hours. All you have to do is figure out for 1 hour. So you're going to divide that. Okay? Hopefully you know 236 goes on the inside. So if you're listening, you're hearing me. 236 divided by 4. Okay. Number 4. Tony bought a shirt for $36 and a tie for $28. If 7.5% tax is charged, how much tax, only tax, will be charged for the purchase. Okay? We have to make sure we're reading carefully. So hopefully we know we have to, when we go up, the person behind the register is scanning, right? So we have to add those first. Okay? That's what we do first. Then, hopefully you know, the question is asking for tax. We change the percent to a decimal and we multiply. Okay? To change it to a decimal, you move it 1, 2. You better make sure you transfer this correctly before you multiply. So multiply by whatever you get right here. Okay? We've done this over and over and over. Change that percent to a decimal and multiply. Number 5. Circumference of a circle. I am not going to go over this one with you. I want you to practice this. This is circumference of a circle. If you do it right, you will have 3-digit by 3-digit multiplication, and we definitely need the practice. Okay. Okay, number 6 is solve. We're just going to practice cross multiplying, right? So your job is to multiply 275 times 7. Okay, that'll go here. On this side, we get 11x. Okay, then to get our x by itself, we divide by 11. Okay. Make sure I wrote that right. Looks like I did. Okay, number 7, find the area of the circle. This, I will let you know, will also be a 3-digit by 3-digit multiplication. Okay, what I will do for area is I'm going to let you know this is diameter. Write the formula, plug the numbers in. Make sure you are using parentheses. Let me see those parentheses. Okay. Number 8, I definitely want to spend a little more time on. This says, at an animal shelter, there are 5 cats for every 3 dogs. Okay. Every time I see something like this, and I know it's because I've been teaching so long, I recognize this as either a ratio or a rate. I could call it a rate because we have different units. Okay. So that is one thing that I recognize right now that are up for adoption. If the shelter has a total of 32 animals up for adoption, how many would you predict would be dogs? Okay, so what this is saying is not that there are 5 cats at the shelter. There are 5 cats for every 3 dogs. Okay, now we haven't done this, so I hope you are listening. Dogs. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. So this is how I would do it. There's different ways of doing it. Some of you are going to think to scale up, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. But if you don't understand that, watch this. Okay? When I have that ratio or rate, I like to just set up a proportion. Okay? Normally I would do cats to dogs. That's what I would do. But it's not asking necessarily for cats to dogs. It doesn't give me cats here. It gives me total animals. So what it wants is dogs. So I'm going to put dogs here. What do I know about dogs? I know that there are 3 dogs. Okay? And I also know that we know a total. And I don't put 32 down here because it's not 3 dogs out of 32 total animals. It's 3 dogs for every 5 cats. So I'm going to put 32 right here. Okay? So what we need to do is find the ratio total, okay? 5 cats for every 3 dogs. So that would be 5 plus 3, which is the ratio total, which is 8, okay? So this can be definitely more confusing. So that's why I want to make sure I'm walking you all the way through it. Now, from this point, you can cross multiply and get the answer. You might be able to see a relationship this way. If you do, that's great. You can solve it that way. But we will be going over this more. If you're confused, that's okay. Try to take in what you can to see how I get this 8 and we will be covering it more later. Number 9, solve. Same, sum, add to the left. And number 10, we're ending on an easy problem. I'm not going to do this one for you. You are going to put in the formula, put your parentheses, and solve it. If you do it correct, you will have a whole number answer.